What is up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Lollyman16 and I'm here to review Dragon Ball Super episode 119. Let's get right into this. The Japanese title is Kaihi Funo Suterusu Kogeki no Moi, and of course, as translated, it is unavoidable, the fierce stealth attack. This episode, guys, was, well, I gotta say, it was definitely not as good as last week. Not even close, actually. This is probably one of the worst episodes of this arc. I mean, it's not like horrible, but it's not really great either, and it's kind of a bland episode, I thought, overall. This episode features Universe 7 versus Universe 4, and there's a lot of talk about in terms of what they could have done right, and the hype surrounding Universe 4 was actually pretty much diminished in this episode. So, as always, I give credit to Herms for translating. As always, twitter.com/Herms98. But essentially, this episode was Universe 7 versus Universe 4, and we started out basically with Universe 7's Vegeta. Obviously, he is still attacking Kato Pesla, and we get this small exchange of Vegeta fighting Kato Pesura, and within this fight, Kato Pesura actually changes to Ultimate Mode. He uses his final transformation, which in this form, it not only increases his speed by 300 times, but it also increases his strength 300 times as well. So it's basically a combination of battle mode and his speed mode, just combined. So Vegeta is actually able to fend him off for a little bit as base, and then he transforms into Super Saiyan 1. They're fighting a little bit equal. It kind of seems like Vegeta is having the upper hand. A couple of shots thrown here and there. And then Kato Pesla uses his final move, which he calls the final mission. And it's weird, he says it as like an Ogi, right? He says it like a secret move. Kind of weird, but I guess it works nonetheless. He fires this huge-ass, really big beam. Vegeta counters it with his own quick version of the Final Flash, and basically overpowers him and knocks him out, so Kato Pesura is out. Now, what's interesting here is the fact that Kato Pesura is, I believe he's from Universe 3, if I'm not mistaken. He could be, I'm pretty sure he's Universe 3. And, you know, one criticism I do have to say, I'm getting really tired of these joke-like characters. I was expecting to have some awesome-looking characters in this arc, and I know that, you know, Toriyama, he's a gag manga artist, you know. At heart, he is a gag manga artist, and he likes to draw really gag-like characters. Majin Buu was a perfect example of this. But there's, you know, at this point, there's too many of them, and it feels a little bit, well, it doesn't feel right. I feel that there should be more serious characters, more cool-looking characters, not just all these, just in overabundance, I would say, of gag characters. But anyway, Kato Pesura is out. Now, right after this, Vegeta is attacked by something invisible. He is attacked and he does not know why. He is almost actually, he almost falls off the ring, and that's where we got that shot of the meme Vegeta, if you will. Pretty funny stuff, but Vegeta saves himself by grabbing onto the ring, and I do have a criticism with the way this is handled later on in the episode as well. But let's continue. So Vegeta grabs onto the stage, and he's not ringed out as I expected. He's still in there. So then everyone gets attacked by these what seems to be invisible opponents. They're pretty tricky to deal with because they cannot be sensed. Their ki cannot be sensed. So it's kind of like the androids back in the day, the Jinzo Ningen, if you will, where they cannot be sensed, and so these opponents could not be sensed either. But it is revealed later on that they are part of Universe 4. And the first guy they fight is Gamisaras, who is essentially just a invisible opponent. He is really small, like a bug type creature. Um, I know I don't really like to use that term bugs. I don't like. I just hate the way they say it. But he does resemble a bug. I guess you could say on that. But so they're still finding Gamisaurus there, and it's actually interesting because Muten Roshi on the sidelines, he comments on how he remembers fighting Suke Man, or the Invisible Man, way back in Dragon Ball. In the Tenkaichi Budokai, when Yamcha was fighting him, they used Bulma to essentially make Master Roshi nosebleed, and therefore coating the invisible guy in blood so that they could see him. So he remembers this, and he jokingly says, "Oh, you should give me another Bulma or something, so we can." Basically, he's being the kind of same old little bit of the old guy that he usually is, the pervy old guy. So that was basically the only joke in this episode. What I saw. I mean, this episode, guys, it wasn't really anything. It was kind of a meh episode, really. So continuing on, they're fighting Gamisaurus, and they eventually figure out how to beat him, and that is to essentially track him within the smoke. If you can create enough rubble and smoke, then the opponent will become visible again. So it's pretty clever. Gohan fires some ki blasts all around the arena, and eventually there is enough smoke created to where they could see Gamisaurus, and so they could eliminate him with multiple blasts and whatnot. So after Gamisaurus is out, Kitala tells Shansa, the other blue character, the small blue character, he tells him to fight. So Shansa, what he does is he creates this illusion, and they're essentially all the universes who have been knocked out already. They're illusions of that, and so they gotta fight them. But the only problem is they're intangible, so they cannot attack the illusions. So the way to defeat this tricky technique is to actually defeat Shansa himself. Now, Piccolo, I think it's Piccolo who does this with just being able to sense where Shansa is singularly, and so he can take him out with some ki blasts. Yeah, guys, Universe 4 is really just kind of a little bit kind of a slimy episode. I mean, excuse me, a slimy universe, if you will. But the fighters are not all that impressive. The only fighter who was like decently impressive was probably either Kato Pesura or that other person that Kaba fought a couple of episodes back. But I mean, that's all they really got, except just, these characters who are kind of jokes, really. I mean, they're kind of jobbers. And I was expecting more with Universe 4's Bugs, Daemon, and Kamisaurus, but they're nothing really to. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys, there's been like hype surrounding them, but that hype just kind of killed off. It's kind of poorly executed, and I didn't really like it. So moving on to Daemon, he's the only remaining guy left of the universe, since now, after Piccolo has defeated both Shansa and Kamisaurus, Daemon comes into the picture, and they think he's another one of those invisible guys, but it's actually not. So Piccolo is attacked by him, and he fires some ki blasts. He thinks he can sense his energy, but he attacks with his hands and whatnot, but it doesn't appear to work. He's swinging at nothing, and so he's accidentally actually knocked off the stage. Now, what I find kind of a criticism here is, why didn't Piccolo use his extendable arm? I mean, he literally just did it earlier in the episode to save Gohan, so I don't really understand why he wouldn't use it when he was falling off, unless his extendable arm could not reach that far. I mean, that's like the only possible scenario I could see. But I mean, I know it's just really crappy writing, and I know it's kind of just plot convenience that Piccolo is knocked out that way. But I guess it makes sense in the long run, because Piccolo really has nothing left for this arc. He has already already defeated the Namekians of his universe, of Universe 6, the idol Kuchu, and he has already helped plenty out in the tournament. And so I think it's time for Gohan to step up. So, I mean, this is, I guess it makes sense, but the way Piccolo goes out maybe could have been better executed, in my opinion. So Daemon is still in there, and everyone's trying to fight him, but again, they cannot, because they think they can sense his ki for Daemon. They could not sense Kamisada's ki, but they could sense Daemon's ki. So they're trying to figure out, hey, wait a minute, why can't we attack him? But it appears to be that Daemon uses fake ki. It's kind of like feints that Obari from Universe 9 used. It's a little bit similar to that, where it's essentially he creates a fake ki of himself so that they think they're attacking him, but then he can attack from some different pretty interesting angles, and therefore they're caught off guard. But 17 was able to defeat him later on, simply by, well, they can't attack him, right, because they can't see him. But 17 actually thinks he's got it figured out. So 17 is actually the one who figures out that it's fake ki, and that he can spot his real ki somehow. I guess he's just because he's a artificial human again. So I guess he has the sensory capability to sense him. I mean, it's kind of, I know I'm trying to make some kind of sense out of this. It's not explained very well. But 17 is able to figure it out. So kudos to 17 for that, I suppose. And 17 tells Goku that the reason why they can't really attack him is because he's a bug and he's really small to deal with. And of course, they don't want to kill him because that's going to get them disqualified. So he's able to defeat him by using some very interesting maneuvers. He actually creates a barrier around Daemon once he spots him, and then Daemon he can't attack or do anything while he's in that barrier, that a small ball barrier, and Android 17 literally just kicks him out of the arena. So there goes Daemon, and Universe 4 is done. And Universe 4 is erased. The way they go out is not very good. Let me rephrase that. The way they go out is kind of underwhelming. Okay, they just get erased like instantly. There's no regret, no remorse, anything like that. Of course, everyone is shocked at the end, but I mean, I was kind of expecting more from the whole entire universe to go out. So definitely, this episode, guys, after it's all said and done, there's a lot of criticisms in this episode, and yeah, it's just really a meh episode overall. And the Universe 4 remaining fighters were kind of jobbers. I mean, if you know anything about professional wrestling, you know that jobbers is a term that is used for, kind of weak guys who get knocked out easily, time and time again, and that's kind of what I found out about this universe. Nothing really spectacular happened in this episode, and next week we're going to get Universe 7 versus 3. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and which I did mention earlier in my review, actually at the beginning of the review, and that is, why don't the universes attack other universes? Like, I'm specifically talking about universe like, let's say Universe 2 versus Universe 4, where, why don't they fight each other? I know that Universe 7 is a big threat they want to take out because Goku is the one who started this all. But I mean, come on. We saw it a little bit in like the earlier episodes, but they kind of just narrowed it down to Universe 7 versus like everyone. I don't really like that. I think they should have implemented more of universes versus other universes. I mean, it is a battle royale style of fight, so. But anyways, there are only 3 universes left after this episode, and there is 12 minutes left. So as usual, 1 minute has passed, and it's also a little bit underwhelming that Piccolo is out. His elimination is pretty not spectacular. I've had criticisms with other people's eliminations earlier, like Tenshin Han's elimination. Roshi's elimination was perfectly okay in my opinion, but I think Piccolo's could have done a little bit better there. Anyways, that's episode 119. Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. I'll see you guys next week.